Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the brand new Ninja Luxe Cafe Premier Series espresso machine. This is a really unique machine because it does espresso, cold brew, and classic drip coffee. So without further ado, let's get into it. So formerly I was using the Ninja hot and cold coffee and tea machine. I absolutely love this machine. I've been using it for years. It has a delayed brew setting so you can even set it overnight to have your coffee ready. It can do an entire carafe. And like I said, it's coffee and tea, and I'm someone that likes iced tea, hot tea, and coffee. Huge water reservoir. It even has a milk frother and a scoop built into the machine. So absolutely no complaints with my old Ninja machine, but I've been moving more to espresso based drinks lately, and I really wanted to have the versatility of being able to make espresso based drinks, so lattes, cappuccinos. But the really cool thing with this machine as well is that I don't have to give up my cold brew and my drip coffee. So I absolutely am a huge fan. As you can see, keeping with similar to the old machine and most Ninja products, you're going to have that beautiful black and chrome. My other kitchen appliances are black and chrome as well, so I love that it fits in. And even if you don't have black and chrome appliances, the Ninja products, and in particular, with this espresso machine, I just find that they just kind of elevate the kitchen with the way they look, and aesthetically, they're beautiful. I have kind of a lower hang cabinet here, and I'm going to insert at the bottom of the screen just the dimensions so you guys can see how big this machine is, but its counter footprint space is not that big at all. The machine itself, as you can see, is a box shape, so it fits in very, very well, in my opinion, in a lot of spaces. And even when the machine is off, I think it just has a beautiful look and appearance to it. Okay, so now let's just kind of talk through the machine. So one of the really cool things about this machine is that it has built-in spots for your accessories and even a hidden door. So over here, starting on the left side of this machine, is you're going to have your grind size. So when you turn on the screen, basically you're going to have the current grind size, and then what's recommended by the machine. So this is a smart machine. It does calibrate, it weighs itself. So if you've always wanted to make espresso, but you're a little intimidated about having to weigh out your grounds, this machine takes care of it. So this is where you can adjust the grind. So if you can see, if I'm doing that, I'm making it a finer grind, and then it goes all the way up to 25, which is what you typically use for ground coffee. Here you're going to have your funnel, and this is what you're going to connect onto your portafilter when you are grinding. And then you also have your tamper right here, and it's just a spring-loaded tamper, so not hard or difficult to use at all. And like I said, both of them fit in right here. I personally love this because you don't have to worry about things being misplaced in the kitchen. At our front of our machine, of course, we have our portafilter head here, also stainless steel. You have this kind of lightweight handle, and then the Ninja logo. Here we have where we insert for our grinder, and then we can actually move this up and down, or you can take this out. If you're using a larger size thermos, you can just easily pull that out, pull that back in. Over here is actually a little bob, so it will let you know when your drip tray gets full. Now, something else that's really unique about this machine as well is that we do have a milk frother built right in. And as you can see from the display, we can do dairy or plant-based drinks. And then all we have to do is turn this knob to determine what type. So 4 different style settings. If you just want to add milk to coffee, or if you want to make hot chocolate, this is the perfect milk setting. This is second setting for latte, a little bit more frothy for cappuccinos, and then cold brew all the way over here. It does have a purge button where you can actually purge your steamer wand here, a clean setting as well. And then over here, I want to show you guys, depending upon the type of drink you make, is going to determine your grind size. So for example, on espresso, it's recommending that I'm at 16. So if I want to do what the machine is suggesting, 6, I'm going to turn it all the way down to 6. And then depending on your basket, so an espresso is typically a double basket. However, if you want to do a quad, it's gonna say it recommends 18. You can also do a cold press espresso. And then if we hop over to our drip coffee, we have classic, rich, over ice and cold brew. And you can brew from a 6 ounce all the way up to an 18 ounce. And anytime you're using the coffee setting, the cold brew setting, you're always going to use your Luxe basket. But that's kind of just a basic overview. And then on the side here, on the door, if you pop this open, that's gonna be your double and your Luxe basket. And then in the side here, I stuck a little brush that comes with it that you can use to clean out your hopper. On the side here, so you have a pretty high max fill line. This is 18 ounces. So you can fit a really large amount of water, and it has measurements here, min amount, 18 ounce, descaling, and max. And then up top here, you have your hot plate where you can sit your glasses. And then here you have your hopper. So really important with this espresso machine over the traditional cold hot system is that it's whole beans only, because it's going to grind. All you have to do is pop this open, and then you can turn this out, and then you can pull out your hopper and then get to your grinder if you need to clean that out as well. So let's talk about beans for a second. If you guys are looking for suggestions for beans, there's so many different types that you can use. I keep my beans in an airtight jar like this to help with freshness, and then I can just refill my espresso machine as needed. Some of my favorite types of beans to use are the Lavazza. They have all different types if you're looking specifically for this brand. There's espresso ones, there's a grain crema. My favorite is the super crema. And then I'm also a big traveler, and I love going to Disney World. One of my favorite things is to get Joffrey's coffees. And you can do this too. You can buy Joffrey's coffee online. So if you go to joffreys.com, you can get some of your favorite resort and restaurants. This is the Kona blend. So this is the blend that they have at the Polynesian Resort. It's my favorite. And then this is the resort blend. So this is the blend that's going to be in your resort room if you're staying at the Disney hotels. But these are some coffee beans that I enjoy, and they also come in grounds for the Joffreys. So if you don't have an espresso machine that has a grinder attached to it, or you want to use a traditional and you're just looking for bean suggestions, these are great options. So one thing that was unique to me is that when you first use this machine, you're going to do a water hardness test. And these are basically a hardness strip. So you just put the water that you're planning on using in your machine on this, and it will let you know what settings to do on your machine. Now, for example, let's say you change the type of water you're going to have to use. You're going to have to reset this so that it knows the hardness, and that just helps with the machine knowing the temperature so that you don't have really acidic coffee and that it's to your liking. The machine also comes with clean accessories too. So this is everything you need to get started with your machine after you've been using it for a while. So I think it's really cool that Ninja automatically includes these in the box with your machine. But for some reason, if you do need to get more, all you got to do is go to ninja.com and you can order replacement. Now, something that was a little bit new for me when I opened up this product is there was actually a card inside the top of the box that said that this product has been tested prior to shipment. So if you open up your espresso machine and you see a card, or if you notice that the cord doesn't look completely bound up, or if you see tiny little pieces of espresso beans, don't be worried. It's just the test kitchen at Ninja is testing it out. You don't have to worry about your product having been used or returned. It's just for quality assurance. All right, guys, so why don't we start to make a couple of drinks just to show you guys how easy it is to use this machine. So let's just make a plain old espresso. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna wanna make sure that we have this over to our espresso. I'm gonna do a double. So as you can see, the current setting is 6. It's recommended 6. Anytime you're changing out the beans, so let's say I was going from the super crema and I wanted to do the Joffrey's Resort blend, it's recommended that you run 2 rounds of an espresso double, just to kind of help the machine to calibrate. I can say for myself personally, when I first used this machine, it took about 3 to 4 times before it actually had everything at the settings and the taste and everything was exactly the way I wanted it to be. So just keep that in mind, that the machine is a learning machine. So just be patient with it. All right, so let's make some coffee now. So we're going to start off with our portafilter, and really important to add in your basket. Since we're going to just start off with a traditional espresso, I'm just going to use the double. When it comes to inserting your basket into your portafilter, all you're going to do is line them up. And if you're unsure if this is the double, it even has it on the side that it's the double. You're going to line this up right here where you see the orange line, snaps in place, and then we're going to attach our funnel. Now, if you try to attach the portafilter without the basket and the funnel attached, the machine will tell you you need your basket. If you try to attach this without the funnel, it will tell you you need your funnel. So one of the benefits of having a smart machine is that it keeps you from messing up the machine, and is kind of a safety measure. So let's attach this. All right, so the machine has calibrated, so it's basically tiered the weight of the portafilter with the basket and the funnel. So our current grind setting is at 6. The machine is recommending we're at 6, so let's go ahead and start grinding. And as you can see, the machine isn't super noisy. I've had traditional grinders before and they were much louder, and you have this little progress indicator so you can tell how much longer it is for it to grind. All right, so now it's giving us a button that says to tamp. So we're going to take this out. And there is our beautiful grounds. And you're going to keep the filter on when you tamper. If you take it off, you're going to make a mess. So we're going to put our machine down, and they actually don't recommend that you tamper directly onto your countertop. So I normally put a paper plate or some sort of cutting board or something that you can put to tamper on top of. All right, so here we have our tamper. It's just spring loaded, so you just insert that, give a push, and perfectly tampered. So now all we're going to do now is take off our funnel, and then we're going to put our portafilter onto our machine. So as you can see on the machine, it tells you directly where to insert and lock. And basically it wants you to insert right where that orange dot is. So all you're going to do is basically line up and then twist. All right, so we have our portafilter attached, and now we're going to grab our cup. I'm going to put our cup right underneath our, there we go. All right, and now we're gonna start. As you guys can see, we have our progress bar going as well. It doesn't take long at all for this machine to make an espresso shot. Very fast. right, so there we have it, our double espresso shot. And as you guys can see, this is from the Super Crema Lavazza. It does such a great job of making the crema, but look at that beautiful espresso that you have if you just want to have like this, or if you want to add in milk. So now I'm going to show you guys how I make a cappuccino. Super easy to do, and we're going to use the milk frother as well. All right, guys, so now we're gonna make a cappuccino, and something that I wanna show you is the current setting is 6. Now the machine is recommending that we go to 13 for a double. I just refilled my hopper with new beans. So like I mentioned, it typically takes the machine maybe 2-3 rounds before it actually gets it right. So I did notice that espresso was fine, but when I was cleaning out the basket, I did note that it did seem a little bit wet. So just be aware that sometimes the machine we'll still have to think through things. So now it's recommending 13. We're currently at 6, and we have espresso double. So here we go. All right, so as you can see, definitely more of a coarser grind. So I'm kind of interested to see how the machine does with this. So the machine is also learning as well. So we'll see if this makes a good cup of cappuccino or if we need to adjust it again. All right, guys, so I have my cappuccino mug. We're gonna get started with our brewing. And then really exciting, I'm gonna show you guys the milk frother. Something that I also wanna let you guys know about. I like adding flavors to my coffee. Sometimes with my cappuccinos and lattes, I now have got to the point where I just enjoy drinking them without flavoring. But if I'm doing a cold brew, an iced coffee, I love flavorings. And my favorite is Monin. I find that when I travel to Disney and a lot of different coffee shops, they use a lot of Monin. Some of my favorites are the caramel, vanilla, white chocolate, and I actually got this stand from Monin, so it's nice to have all the syrups displayed. And you can even get these pumps from Monin as well, and I also got the syrups from there too. So check them out, you know, if you also want to have syrups with your machine and a fun little stand so your bottles are not just hanging out all over the counter. Okay, so now we're ready to froth our milk, and you actually can prep this while your espresso is going. So like I mentioned earlier, you can do dairy or plant-based, and then all you're gonna do is pull this out. And as you can see here, sorry, it's a little water in there, it's clean. So we have our max and our min line, and then on the opposite side, it will actually tell you latte and cappuccino. So it's kind of cool because it will show you how far to fill your jug depending upon what you're making. So since we're making a cappuccino, I'm going to fill right to there, and as you can see, it's kind of in between, and then inside of your cup it will actually give you the ounces. So 8 ounces, 5 ounces, and 2 ounces. So pretty cool. So for a cappuccino, we're going to do about 5 ounces. And then down inside of the cup, you can see there is your little whisk or stir. So now we're just going to put it back in place. It is locked, and so there is a magnet that connects here. So I'm going to turn this to our cappuccino setting, and all we're going to do is say start froth. Our progress bar here as well, so we can keep track of when our milk will be ready. So after you use the froth setting, the purge button will automatically illuminate, and when you take off this milk frothing cup and you pull the head down. When you push the steamer head back, it will actually flush the machine with water. So really, really cool. And this little bob lets you know how much water is in your under tray. So when this little bob is up, it's basically letting you know your tray is filled with water and you need to dump it. So all we're gonna do is tap, tap, tap. And then we're gonna start off far away. And then I am certainly not a latte art extravaganza woman, but basically you can make some lovely latte art. I will say the milk pitcher is a little bit too thick for that, but look at that. You have that beautiful crema, that beautiful froth underneath. Absolutely beautiful cappuccino. And like I said, for those of you out there that are good with latte art, can make this beautiful, or maybe throw a little bit of some cinnamon or nutmeg on top. So super important, after you use the milk frother, you want to immediately wipe this off and use extreme caution because it is going to be quite hot. So as soon as you put this steamer wand back into the position here, it will automatically purge and the water will go in here. Now, quick trick for you, if you don't want it to purge, all you got to do is put your cup back on, slide your cup, and you can still purge directly into your cup, or you can make another milk froth. I'm going to tell it to purge. So we're gonna go down, and then all you can see is all it's gonna do. So you see that little bit of milk that came out, and then it's just flushed with water, and that's it. So super easy, super cool. And then all this is just cleaning out that steamer wand. Very hot. And there we go. So when this little buoy is up, guys, it basically means that this tray needs to be dumped. So all you're gonna do is take out your little piece. You're gonna slide out your additional, as you can see, this also gets kind of dirty, and you can pop this lid off and rinse this off. But all we're gonna do is slide out this base. It's hard to do with one hand, apologies. I'm gonna slide out this tray. Take this off. And then pop this guy off. All right, so we're just gonna take this tray out. And as you can see, that is our reservoir full of water. And then we're just going to dump that out in the sink. And like I said, all of these parts easily pop out. So let's say you're using a mug. This is actually the Ninja Sip Perfect mug. It helps to keep your beverages hot, but not too hot where it burns you, and cold. You pop that and then you sip right from there. It's called the Sip Perfect. And my machine actually came with one of these. So Ninja sometimes will have different specials. So it's kind of cool that if you pop the lid off of your Sip Perfect mug, it fits perfectly right inside of your machine. And of course you can slide this out and then put your tray back in. But love the versatility of being able to brew all different sizes of cups and mugs. Super cool. All right, so let's brew one more coffee. So we've done 2 espresso drinks. Let's do a coffee, and I want to show you guys the cold brew setting. It's really amazing how fast this machine makes a cold brew, and it is absolutely fantastic. So we're gonna pop over here, and I want to show you guys something. So you see how when I'm on espresso, no message, I go over to coffee, I'm on classic, rich, over ice, cold brew. So you see how it says rinse here? So the reason it says rinse is because we've made 2 hot beverages. So if you make hot beverages, the machine basically is saying, I'm too hot to make a cold brew. I need to cool down. So in order to rinse your machine, all you're going to do is get a cup and no portafilter, and just flush the machine through. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I like to use one of my big espresso mugs just because it's a lot of water. I would highly recommend, if you're making drinks, you know, for multiple people in your family, friends, things like that, try to make your cold drinks first and then your hot, so you don't have to use this because it does use up quite a bit of water. But I'm going to show it to you guys just so you can see. So you press rinse, you have your progress, and then as you can see, rinsing the machine through. I also personally like to do the rinse cycle. You know, I don't know if it's an exact science of every other day or every couple days or once a week, but I occasionally do like to do the rinse setting just because I do find that it cleans out the filter up top and the shower head there, as you can see the water coming out. So I actually like to do it because I feel like it does actually flush things through. And as you can see, it did definitely clean off that head for us. Now remember, for our coffee cold brew settings, we have to use our Luxe cup. If you're unsure, it actually says Luxe on it. And as you can see, pretty deep basket here. This is also going to be your quad espresso shot as well. So let's get this connected up into the portafilter and get brewing. So one thing I want to show you guys is we changed it to cold brew, and now the recommended grind size is 23. So as you can see, when you're using cold brew or coffee, your grind setting is going to be much coarser grind. So we're going to turn this up all the way to 23. And 25 is the highest setting that you can go on this machine. All right, so we got our Luxe basket, our filter on there, excuse me, our funnel. Perfect, so we're all set, and here we go. And as you can see, when you're doing the coffee cold brew settings, it does take longer. And there's our grind. Now, really important when you're using the coffee cold brew setting, you never, ever, 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 ever want to tamper this. You don't want to push this down. Something that I also want to show you guys too is right on here, we have our cold brew and it's already locked in. But as you can see here, we are set to 14 ounces. So if you wanted to brew more cold brew, you would have to make sure that when you initially turn the machine on, you have it set for the correct amount of ounces that you want. Does that make sense? So once this machine is dialed in, it's set to brew 14 ounces exactly. If for some reason you want to do more than 14 ounces, you got to go back through and make some changes. The cup that I'm using, this is actually a 16-ounce cup, and I already have it filled with ice, so we are all set. All right, guys, so we have our cup, our ice, and we are ready to brew. All right, guys, so here we have our cold brew. I was incorrect. These cups are actually 20 ounces. So if I had brewed a little bit more, so this was 14 ounces. So if I did like 16 or 18, that probably would have been perfect. Ice is still in there, a little bit melted, but not tremendously. And this cup is actually cold in my hand. So what I typically do at this point is just add in one of my syrup flavors, whatever I want. But I'm going to show you guys, if you wanted to do a cold foam, how to do that. So we're just going to turn our machine to the cold foam setting. As you can see, it has a little snowflake. And what I actually like to do is have flavored cold foam. So I will typically do vanilla pump in this cup, and then we'll add the milk to it. And then typically I do anywhere between 5 and 2 ounces of milk. I find that that's the perfect amount of cold foam. But of course, if you want more cold foam, add as much milk to your pitcher as you want. So just like we did before, we're going to flip out our steam wand and we're going to put our milk frother on there. It's going to lock in place. And it doesn't have an actual click. It's just, you can tell it's secure. And then we're just going to say, whoop, start froth. And because it's a cold foam, it takes the wand no time at all. because it's not really blowing in hot steam to make it super, super fast. And of course, you still have your progress indicator if you're wondering how long we have. And something that is noted with the cold foam is that it's very quiet. So I love making cold foam as well, because if I have individuals that are sleeping still, I find that the cold foam doesn't wake people up and doesn't bother them. As you can see, you can still really easily hear me over it, versus when you're doing like the steam milk setting, sometimes those can be a little bit louder. So our cold foam is done. Just gonna tap that. And then here we are, gonna add our cold foam. As you can see, that is beautiful cold foam. It looks exactly like what you would get from your local coffee shop. My favorite thing is to watch it just kind of slowly seep into, diffuse through the coffee. Look at that. Beautiful cold foam. Thick and rich. And like I said, if you get the different syrups, you can add different syrup flavors to it. So then you can have a caramel or a cookie butter cold foam. It's like my favorite thing. So good. All right, guys, so now that we've worked through 3 different beverages, we've talked about the specs of this machine, how it works, I think it's important to kind of round it out by talking about the price tag of this machine and if I personally would recommend you purchasing it. So currently the retail price for this machine is $499, or basically $500. But like I said, you know, Ninja does have specials and promotions that they run. When I purchased my machine, it came with the Sip Perfect mug, which is currently retailed at $49.99 or $50. So I got a free mug. Right now, if you purchase a machine, you do get 2 bags of coffee beans. So that's kind of nice. And Ninja every now and then will have 10, 15, sometimes even 20% off of their products. So keep an eye out, so you may even be able to snag this baby on sale. Now, as far as cost value, is this machine worth the price tag? I would say it is if you are an individual that enjoys specialty coffee beverages and drinks from some of those really expensive or even, you know, fast food chains. If you're the type of person that drinks a cup of coffee every single morning and you're carving out time, you're carving out money in your purse, in your wallet to go to that drive-through and get a cup of coffee every single morning, I would highly recommend considering getting a machine like this because it is going to save you money in the long run. The bag of beans that I purchased, the Super Crema, I got that right off of Amazon and it was around $18. So if you are buying, you know, small, medium, you know, latte, cappuccino every single day, that's around $4 or $5. You are definitely spending more money than you should. And something that's really cool about having a machine like this is that you're able to make your drinks to your specifications. You can buy your favorite flavors from Monin or other, you know, flavor companies. So you can even, you know, 1 pump versus 2 pump, all of those things are right. You can use plant-based milk alternatives. So if you are into soy milk, oat milk, rice milk, coconut milk, you can use all those things with this machine. And you also have the availability to make an espresso or a specialty coffee drink any time of day. So whether or not your favorite coffee spot is open or not, you have this machine that is you have access to all the time. The other thing that I like about this machine is that it is a lot quieter than some other espresso machines. It doesn't take up a big counter footprint, so it fits in very nicely, and it also dresses up the space a little bit. So it definitely does not take away from your countertop. If anything, it will add to it. Finally, I will say my favorite thing about this machine is that it is not just an espresso, but it is also a drip coffee and a cold brew coffee maker. So it's 3 machines in one, but at the same time, you're not sacrificing that fantastic espresso flavor. I do like the fact that even though it does have smart technology with suggesting to you the grind size, you ultimately have the decision what grind size you want. So there have been times when this machine maybe will say, okay, like I recommend you use this one. And I'm like, I felt like the last cup was a little bit off. So I'll adjust it myself. So I do like the fact that you can do that. And if you want to froth your own milk or dairy alternative, all you have to do is hold the wand out with the cup and press the start froth button. So you also have that option too, that if you don't want the hands-free option, if you want your hands on it and you want to be a part of the milk frothing process, you can as well. So that's going to do it for our review today, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you have this machine at home or if you're thinking about purchasing this machine, and what was your favorite part or favorite feature of this machine that we covered today. If you enjoyed this content, please let me know in the comments below or give me a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and you're unsure whether or not you should join, you absolutely should subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with my latest post. I primarily do travel and vlog and information type videos, but who knows, if you guys like videos like this of product reviews, let me know and maybe we'll throw out a few more of them. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.